Today is a VUCA world, a world that is highly volatile, uncertain in its direction, complex and ambiguous. Of course, much of this has been due to the pandemic.
Kes jangkitan COVID-19
Like a wrecking ball has battered economies and lives.
which brings the death toll to
1,000 with 154 in the
It has
ICU.
caused untold misery,
perintah kawalan pergerakan diperketatkan.
resulting in businesses collapsing, causing massive unemployment. Apart from the pandemic, another factor that contributes to this increased volatility in the world today is the increasing geopolitical tensions across the world. Countries are also increasingly becoming protectionist, protecting their borders and looking inwards to ensure the sustainability of their economies. This is the VUCA world. All these have fractured global supply chains, they have altered consumer demand, and they have modified industry structures. What should businesses do to ensure that they remain resilient amid these rapid changes? John F. Kennedy once said, "In a crisis, be aware of the danger, but recognize the opportunity." So although we may want to quibble over whether the pandemic is good or bad, there is a silver lining for businesses if they are prepared to adapt and be ready to meet the challenges of the future. There are 5 ways to stay resilient amid the pandemic. First, businesses should never forget their stakeholders, especially employees and customers. However hard times are, businesses should be careful in letting go of their employees. This is because they will be there to switch on the lights when normal business resumes. Letting go might be easy, but companies would also be letting go of the skills that they have developed among them. It is unlikely that employees retrenched may want to come back to the company, as they might have gone to greener pastures. This means that the company will have to provide training to new employees at extra cost. So businesses must keep their employees engaged by giving them training and enhancing their skills. Customers should also be catered for, and there must be constant communication with them. Businesses should, as far as possible, meet the needs of their customers. Otherwise, customers might not return when normalcy regains. As they say, it is easy to retain a customer than to attract a new one. So be close to the customer and understand their needs. Second, businesses should embrace digital transformation in the new normal. There is a witty question as to who led the digital transformation of your company. There are 3 choices. 1, the CEO. 2, the Chief Technology Officer. And 3, COVID-19. Sadly, less than half of our small and medium-scale enterprises have a digital presence. Consumer demand has migrated to online platforms. As such, businesses too should get into e-commerce to transact their business. Brick-and-mortar shops can wait until restrictions are relaxed and there is increased customer traffic in shopping centers. Digitalization of operations should be end-to-end. It will also enable working from home by employees. 90% of the chief financial officers believe that this will be a long-term arrangement and it will be a beneficial one. In a joint study in 2020, the World Economic Forum and McKinsey found that with digitalization, companies achieve significant improvements in multiple performance areas when they integrate advanced digital technologies across the value chain. Also, productivity increases by up to 90%, lead time reduces by up to 80%, speed to market improves by up to 100%, and energy efficiency of up to 50% is secured by digitalization. The third strategy is to revisit the business continuity plan so that business sustainability is ensured. As part of this review, a business must stabilize its operations by securing critical supplies and autonomously planning for them with the help of digital technology. To manage the supply chain, the business must be on the lookout for alternative suppliers. Businesses could forge strategic alliances with others to establish startups to localize their supply chain. Technology should be roped in to reduce production costs, customize products to create value, and enhance customer experience, and revisit the supply chain with a view to shortening it. Fourth, businesses should look for new sources of growth, especially by exploiting opportunities opened up by the pandemic. This will include production of personal protection equipment, telemedicine, software development for educational technologies such as virtual augmented reality or VAR, and food production and storage. In addition to developing new markets, businesses too should pivot their operations or repurpose them. For example, LMVH, that produces perfumes, has now gone into producing sanitizers as well. The fifth strategy that is closely related to the business continuity plan is about managing the business risk. It's very important for a company to manage risk, and to do that, the company will have to undertake the worst case scenario and the best case scenario in respect of the demand. So what is the worst case scenario for demand? What's the best case scenario for demand? And likewise, a similar scenario building exercise should be done for supply and for cash management, including financial metrics. What will be the worst case scenario for the financial profitability? What will be the best case scenario for the bottom line for the profit and loss statement? Then in managing the risk, a company should also shift from capital expenditure to operating expenditure to ensure that there is enough cash, enough money to finance the operating expenditure. And as for the capital expenditure, there must be a prioritization of which capital expenditure should be focused on and which should be pursued before we embark on a larger scale of investments in the company. The focus especially must be on sales management, driving sales to ensure that we are able to meet the bottom line. And more importantly, we need to manage the cash flow position. We might be profitable, but if the cash is not coming in, if we are not meeting, if we are not able to manage our accounts receivable well, then we are going to have cash constraints, and that might not help us in managing our operating expenditure. So once we manage our risks, then we have half the battle won. I hope you have enjoyed the video, and for more information, please visit our website. Thank you.